Hello, everybody. I'm Day Wilson of FODMAP Every Day, and we are about to start another Facebook Live. I'll give everyone a few moments to join us. Today, we are going to be bringing you some of the members, the CEO, and one of the registered dietitians from Epicured. And if you don't know what Epicured is, you're going to want to stick around. Check this out. Look at this amazing veggie salad. This has kale and quinoa and tomatoes and mint and parsley and almonds and fresh Parmesan cheese. Look at this. I've got a turmeric latte right here ready for sipping. I've got this amazing Provençal roast beef with a macaroni salad. Can you imagine having these low FODMAP dishes delivered right to your home? That's right. All of these are low FODMAP. They are made by Epicured. They've got snacks too. I've got peanut butter chocolate energy bites here. I'll try not to stuff my face with these so I can keep talking to you guys. But Epicured is doctor recommended and dietitian approved. They are a subscription meal delivery service. And all of their food is low FODMAP. So you're going to want to stick around and learn more about that service. Now, before I bring the Epicured folks on, I want to remind you that we have a giveaway going on right now with Epicured. If you live anywhere in the continental US, there it is. Robin put up the graphic. We have another day, about a day and a few hours, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to sign up. So you can go to the FODMAP Everyday Facebook page. You can go to the FODMAP Everyday Instagram page. You can enter. You can win up to 3 days worth of these chef-prepared low FODMAP meals delivered right to your door, just like those gorgeous meatballs you can see right there, or the foods that I was showing you, and there's plenty more to choose from. We are also giving away a copy of my book, The Low FODMAP Diet Step by Step. We have our baking ebook, Low FODMAP Baking. That's almost 275 pages, everything you want to know about low FODMAP baking. And we're also giving away a session with me where I will take a recipe of yours that you're dying to have retrofitted for this low FODMAP diet, and we'll whip that baby into shape. So the contest is still going on until tomorrow, so please enter. Go to the FODMAP Everyday Facebook page or Instagram page, and I hope you guys win because you'll get to try this amazing food. So, okay, we are here today. Again, I'm Day Wilson, if you just joined a little late, from FODMAP Every Day, and we are here to talk about Epicured. Epicured is a subscription meal delivery service. All the food is low FODMAP, and it is fabulous. So first, I'm going to bring on the CEO, Rich Bennett. He's going to join us, and we're going to talk a little bit about Epicured. Hi, Rich.
Day, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is great. So I want, some people are familiar with Epicured, but certainly some are not. And I was just hoping you could start us off with a little overview of you, what you do, and about the business.
Sure, absolutely. So Epicured brings the best of the culinary world together with the best of the clinical world. And we started focusing on a low FODMAP diet. So everything we do is 100% low FODMAP. It's also 100% gluten-free, to support people who need to follow those restrictive diets. And our goal is to bring the joy of living and eating back into the homes and the lifestyles of our customers and patients.
Excellent, excellent. And so you're located in New York, your headquarters, that's where you are right now?
Yes, in New York, we're in our Soho test kitchen, which you've been in many times, and we've done a lot of great recipe collaboration. We want to do even more, so we invite anybody to come join us here in Soho. We have a beautiful 5,000 square foot loft. We do all of our menu development here, and then we have our own large-scale commissary kitchen on Long Island, which is where I grew up and where I started my healthcare career. When I worked for Northwell, creating consumer health and wellness businesses. And so our biggest failure at that time was we couldn't create a beautiful consumer-driven food service. And so I stepped out of that role, and with my partner, Renee, who's a nurse turned chef, we created Epicured to help people live a better life through food.
Well, Robin and I have had the great fortune of being able to eat the food several times, and it's amazing. It's delicious. I mean, I think, we've talked about this ourselves, amongst ourselves before. I think both of our companies are really dedicated to helping people not just get by, but to truly enjoy their relationship with food again. And certainly the way that your food is prepared, the quality of the ingredients, the flavors of the recipes, it's delicious. This isn't just food that you can eat so that you don't get sick. It's food that you're going to enjoy. So I know that we also have Melanie Klesse here today. She's one of your, she's a registered dietitian. You have a few on staff. She's Clinical Development Manager, and maybe we can bring Melanie on now. God, Robin is just right there with the tech. I love it. Hi, Melanie.
Hey, folks. Great to join you today.
So let's talk a little bit about the practical aspects of Epicured. How does this fit into someone's lifestyle? Somebody's either, they've just been told they have to start the diet, or maybe they've been struggling following the diet. So if one of you could maybe address that, that would be great.
Sure. Before addressing that, I'll let Melanie do that. I just want to sing Melanie's praises and registered dietitians all across the country. We really believe that RDs are the future of fixing healthcare. And as we look at what we need to do, empowering RDs to work with folks like chefs and nutritionists and other care providers is critical for us to be successful. And then Day-Day, when we work with Melanie, and she works with our chefs, and she'll tell you about that process. So the bleakest future I can imagine is where food is reduced to a pill, right? And that we no longer enjoy food and enjoy being together. And dietitians are working to make sure that doesn't happen. And that's a part of the ethos here, is how we use food to enjoy it and then also to live a better life. And that's what Melanie's passion is. And we're so excited to have her leadership.
Well, thank you, Rich. And I think, in your question, Day-Day, you've really hit on the reason why Epicured was created in the first place and why I was drawn to it as well as a dietitian, because people do struggle to follow this diet. You guys know, your followers know that it's difficult and complicated. And what I was drawn to at Epicured is the fact that it's a practical resource for folks to use, and that hopefully it empowers them to feel that they are more able to follow the diet because they're able to supplement with ready-to-go, fully prepared meals that they have in their kitchen, along with doing some cooking themselves to be compliant with the diet. But it just helps them feel like it's a little bit more doable. When I would meet with clients, I'd sit down and give them the list of, do's and don'ts and feel like the food police. What's nice about what we're able to do here is that, I used to say, well, do you like to cook? Because I hope you do, because it'd be very difficult to follow the diet if they didn't. And so what's nice here is to be able to provide those supplemental meals and provide them with meals that can help them kind of have those ready to go things and also feel empowered to be able to prepare the rest of the meals themselves.
It's normalizing, right? Which is great, because if you have IBS and 1 in 5 people in the world have IBS, we don't want to feel like outsiders. We want to be able to eat food. And just like you said, if you're someone without IBS, right, you're not necessarily making every single meal yourself at home. You're not necessarily eating out or doing takeout for every meal. You have flexibility. And so what both of our companies are trying to do is not only create, but then maintain that type of flexibility for the 1 in 5 people who have irritable bowel syndrome, who are following the diet, because there's no reason why they can't. And that's what we're all dedicated to showing. I loved what you said too about cooking, because a lot of times, and I'm sure this happens for you, you talk to somebody who's has to follow the diet, and maybe there's someone who doesn't cook, and maybe it's someone who has relied on a lot of convenience foods. And it's hard, we all know, because the lists on the boxes and the packages of convenience foods, it's harder to suss out what's low FODMAP, what's high FODMAP. And it is easier when you're dealing with whole foods.
Right.
And that's one of the things I love about Epicured. You know, you look at this salad. I mean, this is the third time I'm holding it up, but it's because it's just so freaking gorgeous and delicious. So, you know, you look at a salad like this, and so you've got kale and you've got quinoa and you've got, you know, a low FODMAP serving of almonds, and you've got tomatoes and this wonderful dressing and Parmesan cheese. And this is whole food. This is what you would be cooking if you were ideally cooking it all yourself, but now you have this option. So it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And this sort of segues into, I know you wanted to talk about community and how you're supporting the low FODMAP community in a broader way. And I think that your approach and understanding that people are maybe going to cook sometimes at home, and you're providing resources for that. And then they're also going to be ordering food, and you're providing resources for that. But maybe if one of you could talk a little more about that, about sort of your business's approach to the community in general.
I'll talk about the approach on how we are developing the product and where we've been and where we're going. And then I'd love for Melanie to touch on the community of people that we bring together to make sure we're innovating and fulfilling needs in the community, and also obviously fulfilling wants, because food should be and feel like a want, not a need all the time. And it should be beautiful and taste great. So where we started was, of course, we do whole meals that are prepared, ready to eat or reheat on the go or at home. We brought it into snacks and beverages. We're about to launch our first dessert, which is a New York City style coffee cake, which is the first low FODMAP coffee cake, which is being announced here with you, Day. And we also have this low FODMAP step of ginger snaps. So Melanie obviously is excellent, but as a dietitian, she's going to tell you how much you should or shouldn't eat of them. But we all have to have our indulgences even when we're FODMAP. And that's kind of our ethos here, is that we need to be enjoying life through food. And so as we continue to roll out new products, it's all with the idea of being a part of our customers' life, our community's life, where they need us. And sometimes that's in a purse or a briefcase, other times it's on an airplane. And we'll go into our Amazon Go and Jet.com and other relationships later on in the broadcast, I hope.
Yes.
But that's where we're passionate about our product and getting our product to the people that need it when they need it. And Melanie has really been a leader in bringing that community together to inform where we're going, and to then also bring and make sure people know that they can access this great product and care for themselves better. Melanie?
Yeah, so I head up our clinical network, which is the registered dietitians, primary care physicians, gastroenterologists that see our food as a practical resource for their patients. So oftentimes as people go through the oftentimes long and arduous process of getting diagnosed, they do see a GI and an RD, and we want to enable those clinicians to have the best resources and tools at their fingertips, of which we feel that we are one of those tool sets. So I head up that relationship so that they are able to provide that option to their patients. We also hear from that clinical network exactly what their patients and their clients are needing to enable them to follow a low FODMAP lifestyle. So oftentimes it's working with those clinical relationships. We also love to hear from our customer community themselves. So whether that's new menu items that they are looking for, kind of splurge items, as Rich just indicated with some of our new products coming out, ways to enable them to better enjoy the holidays that are coming up. Those are all things that we listen to through our customers themselves, as well as via the clinical network that I work with on a regular basis.
Well, I think I'm thinking about this salad. So here we have this kale quinoa salad, which is a very healthy salad that could be a lunch. It could be a side for dinner. Then you have the coffee cake. I can't believe you didn't send me a coffee cake. I'd be eating it right now. Then you have the coffee cake, which is, you know, a classic, right? So you have this cinnamon coffee cake, which is a classic, and then those ginger cookies. So this is looking forward. It's going to be seasonal. And so those three things together, I just love it. I mean, this is showing people the breadth of your offerings, the way you're thinking about, this is the way we interact with food, right? Sometimes we're eating healthy. Sometimes we want something that's homespun and maybe it's comfort food. And then there's the seasonal aspect to the way we approach food as well, of course. So now you mentioned, let's talk about your partnerships. So you have partnerships with Mount Sinai, with Amazon Go, Jet.com. So people may not even understand what any of that means. So let's take it from the top.
Sure. I mean, in short, all of our partnerships are designed to get our food to people where they need it. So Amazon Go, for instance, are convenience stores. They're going to be rolled out throughout Manhattan. They already exist in San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago. We're not yet in those stores, but we're working to get there. So we're in the Manhattan-based stores, and our products, breakfast, lunch, and snacks, are sold. And so if you're walking down the street, it's kind of, you can hop in and grab something for lunch and not have to plan in advance, right? So we all find ourselves in situations where we'd love to plan a little bit less in life, particularly when we're on this journey with IBS. So that access point for care is really important. Also for Jet.com, for instance, you go to Jet.com and buy one of our products along with other products. So it's the first time that an Epicured product is in a mixed shopping cart with other brands. So if that's how you shop, we want to be there for you as well. Mount Sinai is a massive clinical partnership. We're a part of their employee wellness program with Jane Mitsud, their Chief Human Resources Officer. Obviously, 1 in 5 of their employees is also on an IBS journey, and we're trying to make their workday a little bit easier and better. And so we're partnering there. And then obviously they clinically vet everything we do, and we're about to pursue clinical research with them. We've launched our first clinical research study with Beth Israel Deaconess up in Boston, and we're going to now co-locate that study with Bill Shea and University of Michigan.
Fabulous.
So a lot of good stuff for us to deepen our knowledge around how we use food as medicine and how we make the quality feel liberalizing, even if you can't be as liberal as you once were pre-IBS. And we're going to keep working towards that forever. We're never done.
So talk about that process. So how you develop the recipes, because obviously I've met some of your chefs, but just get into that a little bit.
Sure. Melanie, you want to kick it off?
Sure. So, so the process begins where foundationally, of course, our meals need to be safe and comply with low FODMAP diet. So that's kind of the foundational thing. We adhere, of course, to Monash University's standards. And when we're looking at a recipe, we look at the recipe overall, but we also look at the individual ingredients. So for example, soy sauce is going to be green on Monash University's app, right? But we also want to make sure that when we're looking at that individual ingredient, we're getting a soy sauce that's gluten-free and doesn't have wheat in it, because some do and some don't. So it does take, and your followers probably know that reading the back of that label is a labor-intensive process. So we do that with all of our ingredients. The second thing, and you guys have touched on it from the beginning of this conversation, is ensuring that the meals are super flavorful. And we want the meals to not only be safe and not cause symptoms, but we also really need that experience to be flavorful and good. Everyone wants that and needs that. And so to do that, we look at the ingredients that we source. So we're getting the very best ingredients that are minimally processed and also have that true good flavor that they're going to lend themselves. But like you said, whole food ingredients. So one of our partners is Green Valley, which makes a wonderful sour cream, lactose-free, that we use in our chicken tacos, which yes, you can have chicken tacos on a low FODMAP diet. So it's looking at what are the best sources of ingredients to not only ensure that our meals are safe, but also super flavorful. And then lastly, we do look at the nutritionals, which of course, as a dietitian, I have to talk about. But we not only want to ensure that they're low FODMAP, but also that they are balanced meals in and of themselves. So sometimes it can be difficult to get, for example, enough fiber while trying to follow this diet. So we take a look at that. We put our meals into nutritional software to kind of analyze what the breakdown is and try to comply as closely as possible with USDA's dietary guidelines for things like that.
So one of the things that I was pleasantly surprised at in the very beginning when I first encountered your food was that the portions were really generous. And then, I could see that even before I opened up the packages. And then, that was before I even tasted them. And then tasting them, of course, there's the proof in the pudding, how delicious they are. So give people an idea about how the process works. If they're going to order food from you, what is the process, and maybe give us a sense of like average prices for different items.
Sure, I'd be happy to take that, and then Melanie, you can jump in as you see I get it wrong, right? But on Epicured.com is where you go and you build your own subscription. So if you really want to have one meal a week with us, that's fine. Pick one meal a week to try. You will pay shipping for that at $10. At $100 a week, shipping is free. So we find most of our folks are eating with us somewhere between 14 to 18 meals a week. And so we're well above that $100 free shipping hurdle. The food on average costs $11 to $12 a dish and ranges from $8 an entree up to $23 an entree. The 23 is two signature dishes. It's basically a filet mignon and a wild-caught black sesame crusted salmon. So another indulgent item, fantastic food. But most of our people are eating between $11 and $12 a meal. And we're working very actively to bring that average price point down to make our food more accessible. And we're also working in Q4 going into the beginning of 2020, what we kind of are our own version of the loyalty program. So once you're with us, how do we make the food a little bit more economically accessible to you for you to eat with us more and more often? So we're looking at 5 to 10 to 15% discounts for the year once you order from us a certain number of times. And that would obviously allow people to make this a part of their lifestyle and a little bit easier on the pocketbook.
Right. And of course, the snacks are even less. I mean, you were mentioning entree prices.
Right. So these are also, for instance, one of our new ones are the lemon coconut energy bites that we have, which are fantastic. To me, they taste like a Girl Scout cookie from when I was growing up. Right. But these are at about $4 to $5 a pack. And that comes with 8, and they're really 1 or 2 of them will do you for an afternoon snack. So it's really an economical way. Again, they're raw, whole ingredients. They come out of our clinically vetted pantry from kitchen, designed by Renee Cherkazian. And we haven't mentioned Danny Chavez Bello, who I'm going to plug here. And David, if you want to talk more about him later, we can. But he's a Michelin-starred chef who started El Bulli, Mugaritz. He left Goulet to come join and found Epicure with us. And he's the one who cooks and designs our food every single day. So we're constantly iterating. We want to make it more accessible. And we basically, that's where you can go to Epicured.com and give us a try.
And I'm so glad you mentioned the one meal, because I think sometimes the word subscription service, people get nervous, right? And they think that there's going to be, that they're going to have to commit something huge. And you just clarified that you can even just get one meal. You will pay the shipping if you do. But I promise you that if you order that one meal, you're going to come back for more, and then you'll take advantage of that free shipping. So talk about the distribution, where it is now, and what we can look forward to in the future.
Sure. So right now we're everywhere between Boston and DC, and everywhere in between up to the Canadian border. So kind of the core of the Northeast, not everywhere yet. And we're about to expand basically from Chicago over to Maine, Michigan, and down through South Carolina as our next route. We take this very seriously, and we go very carefully. We want to try to take care of as many people as possible, but we have a fresh food product that we want to make sure makes it to you safely and intact. We use no preservatives. Also, while I'm on the topic, no GMOs, no antibiotics, hormones, and then again, we don't even heat seal the food or use modified atmospheric pressure. So you're getting rich, fresh flavors as if you cooked it yourself. And so we're really balancing how quickly to grow and to cover to make sure we also have the quality and safety down. And so we're going kind of step by step. So the next thing will be kind of conquering east of the Mississippi. The goal will be Maine to Miami to Chicago. And then we'll be opening up a kitchen in California towards the end of 2020, beginning of 2021.
So if people want to know about national expansion, what are we looking at? We're looking at next year,
so that's
second quarter, third quarter.
In total, we're about to launch a national shipping option, right? That people can get this next day aired anywhere in the contiguous United States, and that will happen before the end of the year. And the goal there will be about $25 to $30 a shipment, and then if you hit certain hurdles, we can cover the shipping for you to get the fresh food product. But things like our energy bites, our coffee cakes, other things, we can do that ground shipping unrefrigerated, so shipping will be free for those products. So national access to our food will be much quicker than that, but then kind of making it something that you can eat every single week without having the burden of buying so much is something we're also targeting by the end of 2020.
Excellent. But before the end of this year, there will be that option for some of the products.
Correct. And we use any of our products, it just might be a little bit more in shipping. And we know that no one likes to pay shipping, and we're trying to do that, but we have to get you the food safely, and we don't want to add preservatives or do anything silly. So we're all going to explain that to our patients and our clients, and we'll see how everyone responds to it.
Well, I'm sure your phones are ringing off the hook every day, and the emails are coming in. People are, because we certainly hear it, people from all over are really looking forward to having access to your food. So that's very exciting news. Now, you mentioned the Boston connection, the BIDMC, and the Michigan Research Support. Could you go into that a little deeper? Because that was new to us, and it sounds so exciting.
Sure. So I'll just cover it generically, but I'm going to hand it over to Melanie as a clinician to cover it scientifically. So our goal is to continue to be a part of the research community. And for the first time ever, the research community has a food partner who can design meals against clinical protocols. And so they can use food that is made, and we assure that it adheres to their targets and their goals. So when they're doing scientific studies, they're not relying on the patients to cook it or follow it or whatever, which also could lead to poor results because no one's perfect, right? So we take that guesswork out of it. But Melanie, why don't you talk about what we're doing specifically now?
Yeah, so yes, I would follow that especially when we're doing research with food, it can be really difficult to do because of all the different components with food, right? So like Rich was talking about, traditionally when we're doing research with food items, it's relying on patient recall of what they ate, which no one remembers what they ate. Or if they wrote it down, exactly who knows exactly what 4 ounces of X is. So the idea that we're able to provide that control and ensure that the meals are low FODMAP, that they're following a specifically low FODMAP diet is super interesting, and will help kind of move research using food forward, which I think is a big deal, not only for Epicured, but for research using food in general.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to mention the giveaway again. We have a few more minutes live, so I just want to give you guys an opportunity. If there's anything we haven't covered that you want to educate our listeners about, or the platform is yours. This is your moment.
Sure. Well, I think first is our phones are ringing off the hook, and that's a blessing, and it warms my heart that everyone wants to, dine with us so actively. But please keep calling if you have ideas, if you have needs, if there are people who are in need that can't afford us. Please reach out. We want to help, and so many of our partners in health will call us up and say, "This particular person is really at risk. Can you find a way to get it to them cheaper?" The beauty of being a young company, one that's mission driven, is we can get really creative with our community as long as there's a dialogue, which is why we love our partnership with you, Day and the community, and why Melanie spends her entire time doing outreach. We want feedback on the product. We want feedback on the website. If there are things that we're doing wrong, we want to know about it. But we're here to be a part of that community for the long term, and to advance things for all of us and make lives better. So where we make mistakes, bear with us. When we ship a box, UPS isn't always the best in handling it. We refund that. There are things that happen with a fresh food product that we all have to pay attention to. So we want folks to be telling us what we can be doing better. And if the places that we need to get to quicker, we want to be hearing that too. So that ethos is just core to who we are. And I wanted to express that, and thank you for your openness and inviting us into your community. And we just want to continue to build those bridges.
Well, we're all doing this because we want to help people. We want to help people heal and feel better. And all of us are very interested in food, very interested in delicious food. And so we've carved out our niches and have figured out our ways of approach to get to those people who are following the diet, who need the kinds of resources that we're providing. So I just want to mention again, we have this, people, as you've mentioned the website a few times, so epicured.com. If you haven't gone to the website yet, go check it out. The minute you see the photos, it's just going to lure you in. And I understand that you do some of the photography. Amazing. I mean, It really looks delicious. We need the scratch and sniff. We don't have that yet. So go to epicured.com and you can, there's a little, in the nav bar, it says how it works. You can learn how to order. And then for the next day, day and a half, we have this giveaway still going on. So come to the FODMAP Everyday Facebook page, or you can go to FODMAP Everyday on Instagram. And you can enter, and you will be in the running for 3 days worth of these chef-prepared meals, like the beautiful food that I've shown you here on camera, like those gorgeous meatballs. We're also giving away a copy of my book, The Low FODMAP Diet Step by Step. If you are a baker and baking season is coming up, we have our Low FODMAP baking book, which is over 275 pages, everything you wanted to know about low FODMAP baking. And then I'll also do a personal one-on-one with whoever wins. If you have a recipe, maybe it's your mom's recipe, maybe it's a recipe you found in a magazine that you're dying to try, but it's not low FODMAP yet. I will help you recreate that. And we're going to be wrapping this up in a moment. Oh, all of a sudden there's questions. Okay, we have one question. Is there a first-time customer discount? Can you tell us that?
Melanie?
So yes, of course there is, because we want people to try our food. I know oftentimes when you have tried different services, or you have digestive issues, it can be scary to try something new. So we totally get that, and we want to make that as easy for you as possible. So yeah, we do offer a $20 off discount for first-time orderers. And like Rich said, if there's ever a circumstance where it's not attainable for you, we want to help people. So definitely let us know. But of course, we are offering that discount because we think once you try us, like you said, Day, you'll love it. So so we urge you to give us a shot and see how it goes for you. And we look forward to having you as part of our community.
That's a very generous discount, so everyone should definitely take advantage of that. So some exciting stuff. So we had the breaking news. We've got, show us the coffee cake again.
We got the coffee cake right here.
Woo-hoo!
Incredible, right? I mean, if I break it open, you can see the cinnamon swirl.
It's so good.
Oh my goodness.
And we're in the middle of the photo shoot this afternoon. I'm shooting it, like you mentioned, personally. And then we have our great ginger snaps here, which are fantastic. And what I don't have in front of me, it's out on set, is our fudge brownies that are also low FODMAP and gluten-free. So we have our first 3 dessert items. And to be honest, I eat the coffee cake for breakfast. So that's my breakfast dessert every once in a while now. On Fridays, I should say, right? Melanie only lets me have it on Fridays. The rest are for puddings.
Yeah,
well, you will see
so good.
Anyone that comes to the epicured.com site, you will see there's quite an array. There's beverages, there's snacks, there's main dishes, there's salads, there's sides, all kinds of low FODMAP and gluten-free options. We've learned that with a premium for now, you can get the food delivered to you no matter where you live in the US. The expansion's coming soon. And for the contest, any of you don't have to just be in the Northeast. Enter the contest. They will get the food to you. Delicious 3 days of chef-prepared meals. Remember, Epicured is doctor recommended. It is dietitian approved. This is a subscription meal delivery service, and the subscription shouldn't be scary because you can even just order one little meal. So there's no reason not to try it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Melanie.
This was so much fun.
Excellent. And if
Thank you, guys.
you've been watching and you want to watch again, you can see this on YouTube. We will get it up as soon as possible. Share that with friends so they can watch it after the fact, because we covered a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.